relational design that women have, the nurturing and nurturing, and just the fact that you guys spend all of your years playing with, growing up, playing with baby dolls and thinking about homes and this, that, and the other.
That's
at
not
least in the
true.
old, at least in the Little House on the Prairie version,
Oh, God.
the Love of John Johnson
God help me
version.
to keep my mouth shut.
But basically, all I'm saying is knowing who you are.
Thank God he froze.
Go ahead. I want to hear your feedback, sister.
To piggyback on what Luke was saying about, in the Bible, we have Adam and Eve. Because Adam was given the word from God, it was his responsibility to educate Eve. So she was vulnerable to prey demons, to fall into original sin. So this goes all the way back to
I don't agree at all. I think it was because they were goddess-centered, and I'm probably going to be kicked out of the group for this.
No, you're not. I love you. Keep talking.
It was a way to demonize women-centered cultures.
Did you guys, men fail because they don't know who they are? Many times they're unable to even communicate at the level that many women communicate.
But you can learn
because they don't know who they are.
John, let her finish.
You need to learn, and just as we've learned to work and be men and be lawyers and go to Harvard,
have children,
have children, cook the dinner, bang your brains out at midnight when we're taught, we do all that. Why can't men? We're not stuck in a role.
And give ourselves orgasms.
The Bible, what's that?
And give ourselves orgasms.
Oh,
because we've had to figure that out on our own as well.
Girl, I got something on that. Okay, we're
not frozen in time. And no offense, the biblical references. That's 2,000 years old.
Yeah.
Cover for you, John.
Go ahead, Noelle.
If we could, thing about Adam and Eve is Adam ended up going into shame, and we don't hear from him again in the Bible. Adam is done. Eve continued on with her children, and she continued in the Bible. So the women persevered we weren't held responsible for that sin because man was responsible for teaching that because he was made first. And that has nothing to do with belittling women. It has to do with knowing the biblical foundation of original sin, because we were given free will. Her will was taken away from her. It was basically, she was deceived and betrayed, and she was coerced into original sin, which she would have probably not chosen had Adam told her what the rules.
I'm not going to agree with you on a lot of different things. I'm just not. That's my nature.
And that's okay.
My best friend on a lot of
that's
different
what a conversation.
Things. I don't care if you agree with me on things. I'm not here to agree with everyone on the stage, and I'm not going to.
Can I say what's beautiful about this, Noelle, CHAR, and everyone? If we are in an adult forum, I think these emotions and these responses are organic.
Yes.
They're genuine. This is the best gift we can give anyone on their way to healing, is being authentic and organic in the moment. Men need a lot of teaching about relationships. Men, I'm talking about our brothers. They just don't know. All they want to do is, many men do not know that the way to a woman's, sexual zone is through her emotions.
The term "I'm in love" is a term that we use so loosely. And I often wonder how much of that is real love or sexual chemistry. Just things to think about. Before settling down into a committed relationship, I just wanted to hear from you guys. What kind of questions do you think we should be asking our partners? Because I know when John and I met, again, my life was in a whirlwind, and there was a lot. I didn't even know what questions to ask. I didn't have mentorship. My mom was so busy trying to get me out the house So it's like she really didn't care, whatever. It was just like, just take her, you know. So I didn't know what to ask. And so I wrote some things that I said in hindsight, I would have done a compatibility test, which included a background check, financial status, money management skills, communication, emotional skills, sexual preference, kids or no kids. Right? But I mean, how much of that do we really ask?
I just don't think we really know enough about ourselves a lot of times of what we really want in a mate.
Exactly.
I was just listening to a divorce attorney. He was mentioning that, first of all, even the idea of marriage and how that even came to be, we have to really look at that. And if we really want to buy into it to begin with, the idea of marriage, I think that's something that we need to look into. If that's something you want to say yes to or not. And second of all, he mentioned that not only you need to find out what you want in a mate, and then sit down with a divorce attorney before you get married.
Oh, that's a nice twist.
That is a good,
you know, get your counseling, but sit down with a divorce attorney before you get married.
It's financial. It's almost a business deal.
It is a business
I make
deal.
X amount, you make X amount. If we have children, are you going to stay home? Am I going to stay home? What's the best? And really respect those choices. I was with, I don't want to say who, but I've talked to some friends who've been divorced. Obviously, there's many by the time they're my age who've gotten divorced, including myself. You know, and they just, it sounds like they never had the conversation with their spouse. They just had all this built up resentment because they thought so-and-so was going to work a little longer. And so the pressure wasn't all on one person to make the money or stay home. It's a huge, and if you bring children in this world, huge commitment. Huge commitment. And it is. To sit down with a divorce attorney, that's the best damn thing I've heard all day. Jeez.
Anita,
best damn thing I've heard. Yeah.
I throw something in.
Yes.
What I really resonate with a couple of things that you guys just said, Anita. I think that the point that you made about not just looking into what the other person, are they compatible for me, but is the me that I'm saying in that sentence something, do I really understand what I want?
Right.
Am I really able to forecast what I might want like one time from now? So I went to a conservative Bible college, and I knew all kinds of people that got married at 21 years old. And then by 31, they were divorced. And inevitably the story was, regardless of whether I think that like basically, even though I think it's wrong in the eyes of God, like me and her, or she and I, we grew into different people. And I think that I just really think that element, what you brought into the mix, is so important, of having a true understanding of what do I want? Where do I want to go? What do I really want out of life? And I think, like you said so well, Suzanne, forcing people to have the honest conversations about what do we want and really work it out. And sometimes people who are real conflict adverse, just kind of go with some combination of the fun and the lust and the whatever else.
Exactly.
And get into this stuff. And it's like, we just have to force each other to have these honest conversations, or else you can only end up hurting yourself and the other person.
You talk about, asking people their qualifications, so to speak, before entering into a committed relationship. When people are young, they're still learning and evolving. And so when my sister and her husband met, they were just both working jobs. Now here 40 years later, they've been married, they've had a company for 35 years. Things are totally different. So I'm just throwing that out there to say that things change, people change, relationships change, status changes. So I just wanted to throw that out. And if you guys have any comments, please.
How were they able to change together? What did you see in their relationship where they were able to evolve together? Because, I think there's a certain chemistry that has to work for people to change and evolve together throughout the times, how were they able, from what you were, she's on the line, how were they able to change and evolve together? Like, how did that work?
I think when they met, they were young. I think, Pam, if you're here, if you want to unmute, you're more than welcome to do that. But
hi guys.
There you go.
I'm having a bad hair day, so I cannot show my face. This is Pam, Lynn's sister.
Hi, Pam.
And hi. I will say throughout these 40 years, we have grown into our own personalities, and we lucked up that most of the time it worked, but there are many times that it didn't work. You know, I've been ready to kick him out or whatever. And then we work through it, and then we just kind of come back together.
Let me tell you, John and I were married for 23 years. I don't even know how that lasted. But really, we never had a conversation like this.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
We
again.
never had, but no,
see,
let me finish. Let me finish, John.
still-
John, I'm not finished.
Go ahead.
Our church upbringing taught it's better to marry than burn.
Yeah.
Mm,
And
What does that mean?
mm, mhm.
like our sexual chemistry, we wanted to be together. We wanted to sleep together. So like
So
even
it's
like
either or. Okay.
so listen, exactly. It's like we weren't allowed. We courted because we never dated. We weren't allowed to date. And it's like if you're going to get involved with someone in that way, you need to be committed.
That's terrible.
So I know.
Yeah.
So this is how screwed up it was. We couldn't hold hands. We courted for over 2 years. John was so like, I was a little different in my thinking, even though we kind of grew up in the same upbringing. He had his Bible with him when we went on dates. He had his seat on because he was trying to be so, abide by the rules and maintain this, everything that was taught. He was following to a T. And there was never a relaxed moment. We never kissed. And I remember the first time it was like after 2 years of going through all that, we were driving home from someplace. We always had a chaperone. We were never by ourselves. Just all this control. You just couldn't, it just didn't feel natural, We held hands for the first time. And so you can imagine all that buildup, all the emotion. And we finally held hands. We could not let go. It was like fire. And then after that, we just couldn't keep our hands off of each other. For me, I was okay with it. But for him, he just felt like, oh my God, I'm going to hell. And so when he proposed to me, it was out of that. And our love was still growing. We still didn't know each other, but that wasn't a reason to get married. So unfortunately, because those foundations, the foundations wasn't there. Yeah.
That's not the reason. I mean, that your point I hear, and it's accurate that legalism, religious legalism was very harmful to our life, because both of us were separately raised in that as a similar situation. You're going to hell. Everything was negatively reinforced. Don't do this, don't do that, or you're going to hell. But the reason I approached you, as you know, was because I had an unconditional love for you that was not based around sexual motive, orgasmic motive, take advantage of a girl, hit it and quit it, one night stand. You were the first woman that I approached to date ever at almost 18, 19 years old. And at the time, folks, not to be some religious, like deep submarine in the spirit, but I was spending a lot of time praying and fasting. I was pursuing my music. I was going to Duquesne University. I found a connection bigger than sex. And as she knows, we were doing Bible verses, and she's correct. There was an imbalance. But the motive to say, well, our relationship, I don't know why it lasted or how it could last that long. It should have never lasted. No. I approached you because I had unconditional, and I came bearing gifts. I was romantic. I was giving. I was sacrificial. You are correct in feeling how you feel. I mean,
Y'all
about
should have had
what
sex.
value we should still be
Should or
married.
should not?
We should
No,
still
we
be
shouldn't.
driving. None of that has anything to do
No, we
with us
shouldn't.
not being together. It was your choice to walk away, and I understand that. I respect that. Period. This, at least my viewpoint.
Talk about go all night.
I just wanted to make
Funny.
one comment, if I may. I sense that some of us, male, female, black, white, whatever, have had very religious upbringings. Is that safe to say? Super
safe to
Christian,
say.
quoting the Bible. I am not one of those.
Right,
So
that's why I
when I
wanted you here.
genuflect when I hear about Adam
Yeah.
and Eve, it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with beautiful Noelle or Anita or anybody. It's more like I don't have that foundation
Don't
and
have that
that
context, right?
context. So I do genuflect a little bit because I believe, I guess, very maybe different things or different contexts. So any kind of, with the name Jezebel or heaven and hell or Adam and Eve, that's my own thing. So please don't take it personally. I respect all of your opinions. I'm from a very different, I'm
Right.
not super religious. I went to church, youth group, blah, 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 but I don't reference the Bible as a
Handbook for life.
handbook for
relationship,
life. So,
right.
and I
Right on,
respect
right.
that you
Susanna.
guys do that. I just come from a different thing. So I do get a little like, oh, okay, wait,
And
Adam
that-
and Eve. What
But
the hell
listen,
is that about?
I know,
forget
but I grew up in it, and
So-
that's how I
and
am.
you did too. So it's
I'm the same
fascinating to
way
hear
with
how
you.
that's influenced
Yeah.
everything you're doing. Yeah, who you date,
Yeah.
who you marry. Anyway, I
I'm
just
gonna
wanted to
play
say
some-
that.
Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to kind of put a little foundation.
Yes, I
So,
appreciate that.
I have
I'm
one
not
I do.
religious. I'm so far from it now.
Yeah.
Anyway, but go ahead.
Foundation.
Noelle?
My dad's an atheist, and that's my mom's foundation. My biblical background was my quest for finding the truth. So that, so yeah, we all got something, but I
Yeah, we all
appreciate
do.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't attacking you, and I understood where she was coming from. This is a whole nother world for Suzanne. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I went to
So-
church. I just didn't,
Oh, it's different. It's a lot.
It's
If you were, Suzanne will be raising hell if she grew up in the churches that we grew up in. I'm just trying
maybe.
to tell you.
So would my mom too, though.
Tammy?
Religion and spirituality are absolutely two different things, Tammy. Thank goodness they are.
Okay, well, let's move into the whole sex topic.
And you're leaving 15 minutes for that? Interesting.
Well, I know. All right, listen, let me play this.
Anyway, let's get back on track. I just wanted to say that.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it.
Tell me a word a married man would use to fill in the blank. I would blank for sex. James.
Pay.
That is a sad statement
Very sad.
about married men.
Completely agree.
So completely true. Bethany?
Cook. Clean.
I would lie for sex.
Yes. That's a guy answer. You don't know how deep this runs with us. You would lie. Yes, lie.
I've never done this, but beg.
Yes.
I would never do that. Don't have to. Don't have to.
Yes. Big. This is a guy question. They don't even know.
I guess not.
2 strikes. No chance you can blow this, James.
I'm gonna kick it up a notch and say, kill.
I would kill. Yes! Kill! Yes. Boulay family, get ready to steal.
Now, this isn't me. I would cry for sex.
Baby, did you let the 2 women down there influence your answer? Yes, you did. Why would you do that? This is a guy question. You want some big dude laying on her crying. Number 4. Die. We'll buy it We'll kill you about it. We'll beg you for it. We'll lie about it. And at the end of the day, we'll lay down our life for it.
Wisdom. The female body was designed by our Creator to be a source of pleasure, creativity, fertility, movement, strength, well-being, and fun. And the processes of the female body are imbued with wisdom that connects you with your inner guidance. Let me give a vaginal, what is the thing called? A vaginal, like, plethysmograph, whatever it is, measures blood flow in the vagina. Women's vaginal blood flow responds to erotic things of all kinds of things in nature. So a sunset might increase vaginal blood flow, a flower, a beautiful scene, or being with a lover who she feels safe with. Naomi Wolf talks about the vaginal pulse index amplitude increasing when a woman saw her husband heave a couch off the bed of a truck because he was so strong. So we have this amazing connection with Eros and with life force in our bodies. And when you can connect that.
Wasn't that powerful?
Nobody's taught that kind of thing. It's
Nobody's taught. And
Nope.
I'm thinking about women, like women, we don't even know our bodies, where we're not in tune with how it even operates. I mean, all the different the different parts of our body, you touch us the right way and how we react, how we respond. And of course, men don't know that either because they haven't been taught. Teaching people about their bodies, how it works.
Right. I think that's why masturbation is important.
She encourages that. She encourages that.
Saw her live at Celebrate Your Life. Yeah, along with Marianne Williamson and Michael Bernard Beckwith and all these other spiritual gurus. And in person, she brought her daughter out and talked about sexuality. And if you have the opportunity to go to a Celebrate Your Life event where she's speaking, go.
I have to.
Oh my gosh.
I have to.
Well, she goes into detail about women's sexuality and how your body is not a disaster waiting to happen.
That's what we're taught.
Yes.
And we are taught that. Yeah. Be ashamed when you buy tampons. I mean, even something stupid and seemingly insignificant. I go there, I'm older than that now, but back in the day, I'd plunk those things down like, because of these, you're here. We are the the Red Mother, the Red River. Everybody has to come through the Red River to get to the world, to be born. So it is too bad that I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
But she articulates as a physician, she's an OBGYN, by the way. Everything I think I've thought about, maybe other women here could speak to that, but never heard articulated in a scientific yet fun, measurable, she checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
She talks about physiology, she talks about women in so many different phases of life, not just menopause. She's kind of known as the menopause guru, but I mean, I don't know. There should be a little more reverence for the female body, not in Playboy. Right. I mean, as what she articulated in the beginning.
Yes.
It is just a vessel of pretty cool stuff.
Thank you.
Yes, she is. Y'all check her out. She breaks it down.
She breaks it down. She breaks it down.
This is divine femininity. This is the divine feminine. These teachings have been a part of Egyptology for thousands and thousands. And this is a part of African teaching, by the way.
Yeah, there you go.
It has been co-opted, but I don't want to get into that. About divine femininity. That was here before. That's why when I hear about Adam and Eve coming from Adam, there's something about it that just shakes me because it's like, what do you mean? Look at
humans come from us.
When you look at reproduction, it just doesn't make sense to me. But I get it because we're talking about colonized Christianity from the Western world too. So that's a whole nother situation.
Exactly.
I'm going there right now. God bless America.
God bless him.